everybody. Welcome to the Winnipeg Committee for Safety. I'm Councillor Cindy Gilroy. I really apologize that I'm not there in person. I feel really bad with the switchover of council. I just didn't get it on my phone calendar, and so I missed this opportunity to be there in person. But I'm happy to be the new chair of the Winnipeg Committee for Safety. I've been this chair before, so I'm very familiar with the committee, and I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you a little bit better and working closely on the Winnipeg Committee for Safety. So first up, I think what we're going to do is I'd like to do the land acknowledgement that we're in Treaty 1 territory, the traditional lands of Anishinaabe, Cree, and Innu Cree and Dakota people, and that we get our water from Shoal Lake 40. And I think we probably need somebody to move the minutes of the last meeting.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Is there a mover?
Okay, Jesse, thank you.
Okay, perfect. And then we need somebody to move that we can participate on Zoom, via Zoom. So can somebody move that as well?
Thank you. Same, Jess.
Perfect. So I want to apologize. I feel really, really bad. Not my good first impression of my first day as being chair, but hopefully I'll make it up to all of you. And I just want to do a shout out to Jesse and just want to thank him so much. I know that we're probably going to be in the agenda talking a little bit further on about the safety forum that we put on Saturday. It was a really great success, and I just want to thank Jesse for being there and all his help, because we really appreciated him being there and supporting us. So I will, because I don't have the agenda in front of me, I will get my cues from Tracy.
All right. The next item is the Winnipeg Committee for Safety 2025 work plan.
Is that her intro? Her intro?
Like
The first item is verbal report from the chair.
Oh, okay.
I can. Okay, yeah. Okay.
And then we need a motion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my first item, I guess, is just providing you with an opportunity to learn kind of maybe what the city is working on, and maybe some things that you should know about. So for all of you that might not know who I am, some of you maybe were on the committee when I was chair, but for you that don't know who I am, I represent the Daniel McIntyre ward. So that's really, just between the Polo Park area and into our downtown by Portage and Main, and from Notre Dame to Portage Avenue, and I take on Wolseley. So I got a very diverse community. And so a lot of the issues around safety are things that I really feel in my community. So I do a lot of that work, as well as doing the work with this committee. So one of the things that I've been really focusing on has been proactive cleanups in parks. And I did a motion, and what that was is I was working with local daycares in the area that have come to me to talk about what the things that they're finding in parks where kids are playing in. So like weapons, needles, like a lot of broken glass that they're finding, and like scissors and like really things that kids shouldn't be playing with. So I'm really trying to figure out how I can get that pushed through. It's about a $200,000 cost to the city, and so I don't think my councillor colleagues are loving that too much, but I'm still trying to work on seeing what I can get accomplished with that. So I'll keep you all updated on going on with that. And then another thing that I've been really pushing for a change in our encampment strategy. Our encampment strategy is very old, and that's our kind of guiding document on how we deal with encampments in our public spaces. So I just don't feel that it's working. So I've been really pushing and very, very public about needing to kind of revamp that and really trying to get people more into shelters and housing, and trying to deal with more the grassroots issues that people are faced with that are making them unhoused. So those are kind of two things that I've been really focusing on. Oh, and then another safety item for those that might be interested from the disability sector is that we've had issues around people that are trying to qualify for Transit Plus services. Are they already Transit Plus users, but they want a change in their services? And how the city does their examinations and assessments to allow people to get that service hasn't been reviewed for many years. And people are really struggling to really get the services that they need through Transit Plus. So working with the disability sectors, I've been able to kind of push for some change and to open up that dialogue between the community and the disability sector, and also between the city of Winnipeg, who's, has to write what our assessment policy should look like. So those are the things I think around safety that I'm probably doing others, but I'll leave it at that because I probably could be talking for a while on some of the work that I'm doing, but I won't bore you all to death. But that's a little bit of an update. If you're ever interested in anything more, please let me know. And hopefully maybe if we have time afterwards, maybe we can go around. I just want to make sure we get through our agenda before people leave, but I'd also like to hear a little bit about you and where you come from. So hopefully if you have a time after this agenda, we can maybe go around and I can get to know you a little bit better. All right, thanks. Does somebody want to move my verbal report?
Thank you.
Okay, it's moved. Okay, Tracy, I think it probably is the coordinator's report right now, right?
No, the next thing is the 2025 work plan.
Okay. All right, I'll let you take that.
I will say, though, in line with the 2025 work plan and our strategic plan in 2025, our focus is to be on built environment and public transportation. So your two initiatives with Transit Plus and cleaning up the parks and playgrounds are going to fit into that very nicely.
Good. And you know what I can get.
Okay, so we did, Jennifer sent out the draft of the work plan to everyone with the invite to the meeting. I didn't get any feedback from anyone, and I also sent an email just asking if anybody had any feedback about it. So does anyone have any feedback, or do you just want me to maybe do a quick run through of some highlights?
Doesn't sound like it, Tracy.
Nothing? You're speechless? Okay, I basically I did change up the format of the plan a little bit. If you recall what it might look like from previous years, I borrowed this one from the Winnipeg Food Council because I like the format of it, and it's I think just spells things out more directly. But I did try to highlight our focus on producing more Who Do I Call cards, continue on with our engagement of assorted people that I have listed here, and our community outreach and communications work, our education and awareness work, tried to highlight things that we've already done, want to do, or will continue doing, and then also talked just somewhat about partnerships that we have and working groups and subcommittees that we would form if needed or work on, and how we would do our evaluation. And so it's pretty short. I don't think it needs to be long and drawn out. And then on the last page, our operating budget is on there, but we should talk about that separately. We're going to talk about that separately because they prefer it to come as two separate documents now. In the past, it was just combined as one document. Whether you've looked at it or not, does anyone have any questions or comments or anything they want to say before we move forward with a vote on it? It's a little earlier than in other years. We would probably have looked at this in our December meeting, and then it would have been voted on in January and moved. Does it go to EPC?
Yeah, it would.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so it goes to EPC, they look at it, and then it goes on to council.
No, it doesn't go up.
Oh, it doesn't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
It just goes to EPC.
Mhm.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions or anything they want to say about it?
So the only thing, I just have a question, just Tracy, because I know that you were working on part of this last year. I really liked the forum that we did, was really well received on Saturday, and it seems to be that people are really wanting that kind of engagement with this committee, and I think it could be a really great thing that we provide and help support. Is that kind of somewhat in this document as well?
Yeah, I have a section called education and awareness. So in there, I said that we would host one or more, depending on the cost in brackets, events supporting the work of volunteer organizations performing safety or street outreach work in Winnipeg. And my example I included was Neighborhood Watch Forum hosted in November 2024 for the Winnipeg group captains. And also said that we would assist or participate in other community education opportunities. So that might be something that another group organized and invited us to participate in or partner with them on. That would kind of remain to be seen, but that we would at least try and ensure that we could do one event every year with the money that we have. So
yeah, I see that in here now. Thank you. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, it was very well received, and I know just for everyone to note too, I should have made a comment, but I'm also chair of the UN Safe Cities Initiative that looks at violence and sexual violence towards women and girls and those perceived to be female in our public spaces. So, and I know Tracy helps me out with some of that too. So there might be some crossover work that we definitely can be working on together, and it just makes sense that this committee sometimes is a part of that work. So perfect.
Yeah, I did on our last meeting, give them a bit of an update of what's happening with the Winnipeg Safe Cities Initiative. So they're a little bit in the know about that, and yeah, we can keep that in the eye.
Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, so is that it for the work plan? Do we need to just move that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to move it? I don't see any.
Barkley?
Barkley, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Barkley. All right, that was moved and carried. Okay, next item on the list.
2025 operating budget.
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that again, it's just a very easy to read document. If you recall, in our last year's budgeting process, we lost some money from our budget in the neighborhood of, I think, $7,800. And so essentially what I've asked for is to have that money given back to us. In here, I've calculated at $7,600, asked for slightly less than what they've asked for. So I've allocated $8,000 to develop, produce, and distribute the Who Do I Call cards. Community safety events, $6,500. Meeting expenses, $500, office expenditures, $1,500, and my fee stays at $50,000. Sorry, $5,000.
So Tracy, sorry, and I do have the agenda in front of me. I was able to get it online there. Question on this, because and maybe Jennifer can help me out with this. What is I think we should try to ask, what is the Human Rights Committee getting?
The Human Rights Committee has significantly more because two committees merged together.
Yeah.
The Access Advisory Committee and Citizen Equity Committee. And we thought that might be a one-time only budget increase, but I don't think they ever reduced that for them.
No.
Yeah. But so they're significantly higher than us.
Do you remember the amount?
No, I don't have that figure,
So
but
double, but did they get their money reduced as well?
When they had a small fee, I believe, of $4,000 in grants, if memory serves correctly, at the budget meeting. Yeah.
I think they had a small reduction, so kind of similar to us, like if you looked in the giant city budget document, all that amount that we lost is just listed in there as a grants. There's no other information about it, and so I think maybe that might have happened to probably maybe more than just us, but
Yeah, it was a cut to everybody. I just thought they got hit too, but it doesn't sound like they did, because I think we're
Yeah.
okay. What would be nice is if we're gonna go to EPC asking for, I think we got a really good business plan. I think with us adding in that we're gonna do these educational things that will kind of go out for the whole city, I think will be helpful. So I'm just wondering if there's maybe a volunteer that would like to come with us to EPC to really talk about the need for us having more money. Just a little background. I'm pretty sure why we were cut is there's been a focus on cutting grants in the past. I've been able to kind of fight the cutting of grants, but we were still hit. But the other grants haven't been hit. So I do think that in lieu of everything that's going on with safety, and it really is the top of mind of people all across the city, I think we have a good case. But I think what we don't want to do is be handing out grants. So this is so we're not doing that anymore. The business plan is more about putting on our own events and providing information to community and support to community. But is there somebody from the committee that would feel comfortable going to EPC? So it's just so you know, it's in front of mayor and council. I would be with you, and Tracy would hopefully be there, but you can come as a committee, a citizen member, to really talk about the need for this extra funding for this committee. If there's not, that's fine, no pressure. I'm just gauging to see if there's an interest from anybody.
We don't have the exact date yet. It might be their December meeting or it might be their January meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
and so, the only drawback for somebody might be that it is, they happen during the day, so you would have to take a little bit of time out of your work day to come on down here and present. Or can they present by Zoom?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
or you can present by Zoom if you didn't feel you needed any moral support.
Yeah, but that's okay. I just thought there's some people that do like to kind of go and talk about things. So I just wanted to provide an opportunity for one of the members if that was something that they felt they wanted to help us out on. But it's okay. Tracy and I can handle it too if that's the will.
Cindy, if you and Tracy tell me what to say, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
And
speaking
if
of,
it's not on a Thursday,
Oh, I don't know. Tracy, I think they're more on Wednesdays, aren't they? EPC.
Yeah. I don't think it's a Thursday.
I know the December one is on the 4th, and I think
You know what, the ones in December, because we're trying to get all of our stuff through council. We have an early council, so that one could be. I don't really know. Jennifer, do you know when the one in December is?
Yeah, it is Wednesday, December 4th. So we have time, but of course they control their agendas. So
Yeah.
we can submit with the hopes that it makes that agenda. And then
Yeah.
once they confirm, we'll let everyone know.
Yeah, they might not, because we're asking for money, so we might not make it. Might try to push it, but anyways, I think it's a good thing, and I can give the mayor a little bit of a heads up that we're asking for money, so he knows.
Thanks.
All right, that's perfect. Thank you so much for volunteering. Appreciate it. Okay, so Tracy, do we need a motion for that, Jennifer? Or I guess we would. We're gonna. It's yeah. So can somebody move the operating? Is it the operating budget that we're?
Yeah, the
Yes.
2025 Winnipeg
Yeah.
Community Safety Operating Budget. And
Okay.
with a request to increase the budget by 7,600.
Okay.
Call card production and community safety events.
Okay. All right. Can somebody move that?
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Okay. And Nola's in favor, I'm assuming, because I haven't heard any otherwise, so motion is carried. Okay, so now we're on to the Winnipeg Committee for Safety meetings for January 2025. So we wanted to try to go back to the noon meetings. Does that work for everybody?
And we're some of the current members, their terms expire.
Yeah.
They're not seeking renewals, so we should have some new members in January, which is why we're only picking the one date.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the next meeting will be Wednesday, January 22nd at noon. Can somebody move that?
Thank you.
Okay, sounds like it's been moved. So moving on to the next item we have is a verbal update from our coordinator.
All right. As Councillor Gilroy mentioned, Saturday was our neighborhood watch forum, and it was a pretty good day. I think I had lots of positive feedback from the people that attended, both in person, and then I've received some emails the last few days as well. And the captains seem genuinely excited about this, and glad that they had the chance to participate. So I feel like that was time and money well spent, and I'm glad that we did that. It's not something that the committee has undertaken before, or at least not during my time, but we now have an allyship with a grassroots community program that is very large. I still don't have a complete handle on the number of members that are attending, and I in no way blame the police service for this, but just the way it works, when a new group starts, they through the police website sign up their group and carry forward, but they have no connection to any of the other groups in their neighborhood or in the city. And because of the privacy policy that the police has, there is no mechanism for them to share that information. So there was people at that get together on Saturday that are operating in the same community and had no idea. They are operating just streets apart from each other, and we're so happy to meet. And so through a process of getting them to identify their groups on a paper map, I'm now going to look at where they're all located by city ward, and then be able to, because now that I have their contact information, I can share those details with them, and they all voted on that and agreed to it at the meeting. So that was good, and we'll just move forward to try and help them. I think what I'm going to suggest to them is that if some captains, not all 220, which that's how many there are, but maybe just a small working group of captains that might want to get together and have some meetings to form a plan for neighborhood watch, what they'd like to see, happen with it, where it currently is at, and how they could move forward and maybe have some more success. Because I don't think that it's something that would cost a lot of money, but it just is a matter of coordination. And I will tell you a story that while we were having a number of good presentations that morning, outside in the parking lot, some of our vehicles were being broken into. And that was not great to have that happen. But the irony of it is, not lost on anyone, I'm sure, but also highlights the fact that crime exists everywhere and is increasing in the city, and I think that it's we're doing a good thing by working on that stuff where it's actually happening, as it turns out. So we had about 50 captains that attended, and I had about another 20 that either couldn't make it or got sick at the last minute and couldn't attend. So it was off to a good start. Councillor Gilroy came for the whole day and helped, and I don't know what I would have done if you weren't there. Counselor, so that was really good. And Counselor Dobson also came for the morning and met a lot of the groups that he has in St. James, so I think that was helpful to him. We had presentations from City Bylaw Services. Martin Miller, who's their operations coordinator, gave a good presentation. Winnipeg Crime Stoppers presented. Their board chair, Rob McKenzie, also gave a good presentation. The two constables from the Winnipeg Police Service that are assigned to work with Neighborhood Watch are Constables Jess Jones and Justin Remillard. They spent the whole day there and also went out and scanned the parking lot after we discovered there was vehicle break-ins, and they were very helpful. And we also had a presentation from a group called 204 Volunteers Inc. And if anyone's familiar with Leela Castro that lives in the Garden City area, that's Leela's group, and they came and presented. And a lot of the feedback that I've had is people want the information with that group and want to reach out and connect with them. They're really doing a lot of great stuff in the city, and they deserve some recognition. And I want to just acknowledge and thank Cameron Ogilvy is one of the group captains. He has a business called ARC Logistics, which is a trucking logistics business. And he actually went back home and brought notebooks for everyone that was in attendance and gave them out to everyone in the group. That was so nice of him. And Jesse, you were just as helpful as Councillor Dobson, and I really appreciate that you came. Jesse and my daughter Hillary managed to schlep a lot of stuff around and get our food back and forth in and out of the room, and just it was a little bit shocking to walk into the room and discover it had not been set up properly, so we had to really quickly move stuff around in there and set up some tables and other things, but yeah, you just were such a good help, so thank you for that. And also Tommy Prince Place, they let us use the location for free. Can't get better than that. Our lunch was provided by Community Helpers Unite, which is a group in the North End that intakes food that they then distribute in the homeless community and to other organizations that need it. And so anybody that's out on the streets and is receiving a sandwich, as part from an outreach group, it probably came from Community Helpers Unite. And how they help fund that food that they're giving out for free is by running a catering business. So we didn't get our food for free, but it was good food. And also thanks to the Neighborhood Watch captains for coming, because it wouldn't have been any kind of an event without them. So that's. Anybody have any questions about it? No? Okay. I came downtown early this afternoon and I had a meeting with Wade Carrier, who is the corporate security manager for the city of Winnipeg. And Wade has only been in his job for about 6 months. And it's a new position that the city has created, so there wasn't anyone doing that job before. And we had a good conversation, and the reason I got hooked up with Wade is because he happened to see the Who Do I Call cards. And I discovered, Councillor Gilroy, you might know this, but a lot of people come in off the streets, like come right in here to City Hall to the front desk and ask for help. And so it's, nice for them to have the chance to have the cards, except that we don't currently have any. Wade, because he's doing his job, he's working on a lot of different things. He's got a lot of plates in the air right now. But he said that the city is hopefully working to develop an app that is going to basically have all this information on it, and all city employees will have that app on their phone and be able to use it to help people with. So not that that replaces the cards or anything, but it just he said that that's the kind of information he needs to work on that app. So I don't think he has any actual money to help us, but I think he can champion our cause for the cards since he sees the value in them. And I told him that maybe once he's got his plans a little more underway, it would be good for him to come and give us a presentation about what he's working on, because it's a lot of stuff when we talked. So it's good to meet him. And the other thing I have, which I can now turn the speaker over to Barkley, because he asked for some time for us to talk about the Aurora Reunification Village situation. And it's been something that's been on the news the last couple of weeks. And just because I've been busy, I haven't had a chance to follow it fully. But Barkley, if you want to give us a rundown and we can talk about it, that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not going to claim to be the resident expert on that particular situation, but the situation did raise concern that I've been sitting on for the duration of my time on the committee, and I just wanted to bring it forward just for awareness purposes. So, by way of introduction, my name is Barkley Engel. I'm the CEO of Turning Leaf. We provide crisis intervention services to people living with an intellectual challenge like fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and a mental illness. At the crux of this particular chat, we run into notable difficulties providing crisis housing for people that live with that dual diagnosis. We have a team of people that are dedicated to finding and maintaining living situations for folks. We own some, we lease and rent the majority. Upon the Aurora situation, which I'm not entirely clear why it happened the way it did, but it's not an uncommon phenomena on a couple of fronts. One, the not in my backyard phenomenon, where neighbors and people just simply don't want to have a certain kind of service near them because of stigma or misinformation or bias or whatever it is. The other issue is that it highlighted systemic barriers to service providers in the execution of moving that needle to a little bit on that dial, in so much as we number of people out there living without formal housing or living in encampments, etc. There are already levers to pull in the sector for housing, not just even crisis or shelter housing, but organizations like ours, which are trying to support people living in housing, trying to acquire housing. And some of the challenges we've got exist within the city of Winnipeg's shop, largely when it comes to zoning and permits and compliance issues. I won't drill down into the details of it. I would encourage this committee, sadly one that I won't be sitting on for the year 2025, to try and explore that in some respect. And I'm happy to, as an outsider, to contribute to that dialogue whenever asked. But it felt like, to me, it's not a matter of solely not having enough beds. It is a matter, in part, of us identifying barriers that exist to the existing solutions in play being able to do what they do and help the people that are already within their awareness, within their client group, etc. I hope that makes sense. So just by way of a quick example, it's not uncommon for us to be given or for the province to give us a number of intakes or a number of patient files that require housing. Let's say they need 4 beds. We will go out and find a property. We will go cultivate a partner that will either buy the house, build the house, or lease a house to us, if you will, or even an apartment block and even a floor on an apartment block, which we call clusters, which are just a series of apartment blocks with one staffed apartment running 24 hours a day, providing intermittent service as needed, with the purpose of ensuring that those participants, those people, can stay in their places safely and independently. When we do acquire these places, if it wasn't for the permit issue or the zoning issue or fire code regulations and that changed in 2019, which exponentially increased the costs to us being able to do the work that we're doing, we would be able to open the doors that day. But now we have to tack on anywhere between 3 to 6 months for permit zoning is another issue as well. We're not able to execute a service in certain areas because it's not zoned in a certain way, etc. Even though the property has been A, sitting vacant for a long time, B, is strategically designed to serve our purpose. Maybe it's an old rectory, for example, or maybe it is an office building that can be transitioned into at least one floor into livable suites. So we do run into those kinds of city challenges that I think would be helpful to at least have a dialogue around. And if the committee would allow, I think it would be interesting to call upon people that are already trying to solve the problem and hear from them what precisely they're encountering when it comes to the barriers that are maybe inadvertent but very, very impactful to them getting that job done. Does that make sense how I phrased that, folks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, Bartley, that's not the first time I've encountered issues with the city's like permit department. And I mean, there are some things that the city could change, and there's some things we can't. We're legally obligated to ensure the safety and stuff of things. So, but for example, right now, we're debating. Last night we were there till 12:30. We're not even done. We were there from 9:30 to 12:30 debating about our malls and corridors, and basically kind of doing a blanket rezoning. So what that means to everybody that maybe doesn't understand it is our where you live is zoned a certain area, right? So you know, if you live in a house and you have houses all right around you, it's zoned as single family, or if you live in an apartment, it's multifamily, or if it's in a commercial area, it's zoned commercial. Things are zoned a certain way, and so it costs money to rezone something. And it not only does it cost money, but it goes through a public hearing process. And so what a lot of the developers are saying, the not in my backyard type of thing, really impacts kind of the development. Even if it's a brand new development and there's just normal, like a normal development with a, you know, multifamily, right? People just don't like change. So it creates a lot of difficulties in getting these developments built. So we're right now talking about the zoning just on malls and corridors, and we were there debating from 9:30 to 12:30, and we're still not done yet. So but if we're making those you know, like it goes to question, if we're doing that for developers, then can we be looking at kind of what Bartley's saying? Is there a way to look at like non-for-profits that are trying to do this and try to find an easier way for them? Another thing is that we could be providing I mean, it does cost money. We don't have a very large planning department, and that's a lot of the issues why things take so long in our planning department. But for example, a concierge kind of where a lot of non-for-profits, they're not in the business of building. So a developer knows all the rules, all the regulations. They understand what is rezoning is. They understand what a public hearing is. They you know, they have architects, the designers. When you're working for a non-for-profit, you don't know. You're just trying to build one building, right? So so we need kind of a concierge kind of person that can really help out and navigate for non-for-profits. And that's something that I think we could be looking at on this committee to help kind of deal with some of the issues around people that are trying to get people into housing, or trying to build the housing needed for people. Does that make sense, Bartley?
Yeah, I mean that's you're already moving into solutions, and that's fabulous. Yeah, I would be fine if the timeline for a permit was compressed. Like this is low hanging fruit over here, but I look forward to hearing more about it. It'll be an interesting dialogue for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, and if we ever look into that, we can have you on a subcommittee. Just saying, we do subcommittees. So
You got my number.
okay, great. Is there anything to add on that discussion? Does anyone want to say anything? I don't want to leave anybody out. No?
I could say I find it odd in this situation that because there's, you know, like if you looked at the example of CFS, that there's a lot of group homes and housing that CFS is, you know, renting from other people or, you know, some that they own themselves. And so, you know, people are placed in those homes. There is services provided to them there in those homes, depending on their needs. And so I don't understand in this situation, especially since what I did read was that Aurora owns those condo units. Like they don't own the whole condo complex, but they bought 23 units in that complex. And it is essentially a case of the other condo owners, you know, talking to a lawyer, I guess, and having that wind up in court. And I find that judge's decision is odd, that's saying that they're running a business there instead of offering housing. But it just would seem for any organization, if that could happen, especially now that there's a precedent set in a courtroom that, you know, if you're seen to be providing these services in the nature of operating a business, like I'm assuming Turning Leaf could encounter the same thing, right? If that's a not-for-profit organization, then there doesn't seem to be any protection there for, you know, if somebody takes exception to what you're doing, all they need to do is go talk to a lawyer and see if they can get you talked out.
But those are things that under the provincial government, under the act, that they need to review, right? And I guess I'm a firm believer that our provincial government really needs to step up their game in terms of our own social housing, because they could be building housing, and Aurora could be running it. Like there's multitude of things that they need to be doing in order to help these things out. We just had that big development on Balmoral that got demolished. It was beautiful. It was like not even 20 years old, and it was like vacant for years, and it was a Manitoba building, right? So so I really believe that for us to solve this, all of us, the government, really need to come to the table, because the city's not the housing provider, but there are things like we have. So just so you know, Bartley, too, just in case you're looking, is we actually provide our housing for $1 in certain areas. That is like the city has taken all over these properties because of back taxes and stuff like that. And we actually provide it for $1 to try to get non-for-profits to build housing in them. It's tricky because some of them are in areas where they just not for profits want to really even go. But there really needs to be all three levels coming together to really solve this housing issue. Because in some cases, I'm being told from a lot of people, we do have the housing, but they need the supports in that housing, right? So if we're having people like Aurora's that aren't allowed to be in condo units, is there some laws and stuff the government can be doing and writing that would help, would not prevent them from, you know, losing that space? So yeah, it's a shame, but if there's things on the city side I can be helping with, can't change the province, I'm definitely open to looking at those things.
Anybody else have anything they want to add?
Okay. So now is somebody from, I guess we should actually, I guess we don't really need it. Bartley that was just a little update. What about, is there anybody from the crime prevention branch or Winnipeg Police Service with us?
Yeah, I want to send a special thank you to Eliana. This is her first, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. This is her first meeting with us. Muxie usually attends us or is with us from the province, and she has stepped in because he was not available. So welcome. I don't know if you are in a position that you want to give us a brief update, but thank you, because you did help us with quorum.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Oh, I can't hear.
I don't think
Do you have to
the mic is
unmute?
on.
Yeah. Okay. Child, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just basically a stand-in for Muxie. But basically there's no update from my
Face here, so we're happy that you came.
so
Thank you.
Thank
And-
you.
Yeah, in the absence of having a report, Aliana, is there anything you want to tell us about your role with justice?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm a senior policy analyst with Manitoba Justice.
Your mic keeps cutting out. Sorry.
No. Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the same team as Muxie. So I am part of the crime prevention unit. I'm a senior policy analyst. So the projects that I'm currently involved in is community mobilization and also like lighthouses. I'm also involved in community safety and well-being, which involves working with 7 communities in Manitoba to develop like a community safety and well-being plan.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
that's excellent. That's kind of what we're like we're doing
Yes.
over here. So
So
feel free.
are you working with the is it the CCFSC that
Yes.
yes, okay. Councillor Gilroy and I are working with those ladies.
Yes. So that's definitely ongoing. Most recently, I was actually in Brandon doing community engagement with one of the consultants, where we ended up engaging several groups of seniors.
Mm. Was her name?
Yes.
Was
Pardon?
it? Were you with Emma?
Yes, I was with Emma pretty much the last 3 days last week. So,
Okay. Yeah, we're familiar
so
with them.
engagements are definitely ongoing. Again, every community is kind of like at a different stage, but we are hoping that we can see some progress and hopefully present a plan more or less spring of next year.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. And you know what? Feel free to come anytime. We would love to hear from you. Come back
Yep.
and visit us.
I will. So, well, again, thank you so much for allowing me to join you guys. So,
Perfect. Does somebody want to just move that verbal report?
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're moving on to the verbal update of the Winnipeg Police Service.
And we don't have a representative with us this evening. He
Oh.
had some unexpected time off.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, we do have just a few minutes. Do we want to just go around and just allow everyone to maybe just say hi and who they are and just a little brief so I can get to know you? Some of you I do know already, but if we don't mind, I wouldn't mind seeing who's sitting at the table. Does anyone want to start? Bartley. We already heard from you, so I know Jetsy's here, so we can go to Jetsy.
Oh,
Muted or is mic not working?
Yeah, he's not muted, but
Okay.
we can't hear you for some reason.
Okay, that's fine. Is there anybody else here that
Can you
I'll
hear me?
let pick who's here so I can?
So my mic work?
yes.
Yeah. So my name is Jess Smith and I work at Thrive Community Support Circle. I'm the Director of Programs and Family Support, and I'm a former childcare director. So I've been working in nonprofits since 1990. And I have 3 grown kids and I live in Elmwood.
Nice.
And I'm a
you've
grandma.
been at the committee for a while. How many years have you been there now?
At Thrive?
No, how many years have you been on the Winnipeg Committee for Safety?
I think this will be my 2nd year.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Well,
yeah.
since you were on and then you left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so essentially, does someone else have to be unmuted so they can talk?
Yeah.
I don't think Jesse's.
Jesse, do you want
Now?
to? Yes.
Oh, okay, there we go. My name is Jesse Andrushko. I've been on the committee for 3 years now. I work at APTN News downtown. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do over the next year.
Yeah. Me too. We got a good team here.
Mhm, absolutely.
Thanks. And thanks again for your help. Appreciated it on Saturday.
I don't know if he wants to. Bartley, did you want to say anything else tonight? Bartley?
I kind of got my say in earlier there, didn't I? But yeah, no, I'm happy to be. I think my time is coming to a close if I understand the cycle properly. But yeah, it's been very, very rewarding. A surprise! I didn't realize how rewarding it would be to sit on this committee, and it's refreshing and very validating to know that these community members bring what they do to the table, and that there's so many people that are committed to enhancing our community. It just feels so good, seriously. So yeah, it's been an honor. I appreciate you having me, and don't hesitate to pull me in if there's an opportunity. I'm very happy to rejoin this group whenever you allow me to. So thank you, everybody.
Sounds good.
And I don't know, Councillor Gilroy, unless you want to do this, but I will say, Barkley, you've been a very good member on the committee, and you've been helpful, and you're knowledgeable about a lot of the things that we're working on, and yeah, we're sorry to see you go, but yeah, I hope, or if you become less busy in the future, please feel free to rejoin us.
Mm-hmm. And I can't see, but who's sitting beside Jennifer?
This is Nicole Carnegie. She's the new council clerk.
Oh, okay.
She will be the clerk for the Winnipeg Food Council, and she's training on Winnipeg Committee for Safety.
Okay, perfect. Well, I guess I knew everybody. I thought there was maybe some new members that I didn't know. So it was nice to see so many really friendly faces again. I love all of you that are on the chat today. So thanks so much. And I apologize that I didn't know about this committee. I don't know what was going on in my head, but yesterday was a marathon meeting, and then I had to be back for appeals. So yeah, I guess I just wasn't thinking. But I really like being back on the Winnipeg Committee for Safety, and looking forward to working with the committee again. And Bartley, I'm sorry to see you go, and you did contribute a lot. And thanks for bringing your final remarks, because maybe we can help make some changes and kind of bring you back somehow. So thanks for all the work you've did, and I'm happy to be back, everybody. So hopefully we can see each other again soon. And I know I feel so bad for Jesse, because I just went by Air Canada Park today. I'm like, how long is it gonna take to get that park built? And I know he's been waiting for this park to be fixed and built. So anyways, I just want to thank everybody, and I apologize again, and we'll see you, I guess, next month.
Thank you. Just a motion to adjourn, please.
And Councillor Gilroy, would you be able to stay with Jennifer and I for 1 minute?
Sure. Absolutely.
Just one question I had, but
okay, sure, yeah.
Gotta make sure we're off though.
Yeah. And so there's no December meeting then? Like we're
Not a formal one.
Okay.
No.
All right.
So the informal we can discuss with Council Gilroy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
just a motion to adjourn, please.
Jesse.
Okay, thank that.
Okay, that's been moved. All right, bye everybody. See you next month in January, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.